With a legal update and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. With it announced that Mike Bailey will be debuting for AEW on Collision, the star broke his silence on X, writing, "I have been blessed for my whole career with unlimited support from all over the world. I can't thank you all enough. My biggest accomplishment in life has been making every year my best year yet, and I'm extremely excited to keep that going in AEW." In regards to this debut, Ringside News added that Bailey finished up with TNA Wrestling in late October, but because his contract technically ran through the end of 2024, he wasn't free to work elsewhere until January 1st. During that time, both AEW and WWE had interest, with Bailey working through an agent to figure out his next move. Ultimately, AEW locked him in with a multi-year deal, finalizing things at the start of the year, but even with the contract signed, Bailey still couldn't step into an AEW ring. Sources confirmed via Fightful Select that visa issues were the holdup, with everything caught up in the approval process. Now that those hurdles are cleared, AEW isn't wasting any time. Bailey's debut is officially set in motion. After SmackDown last week, lead writer for the show, Road Dogg, would be on the receiving end of criticism from fans who took to X and wrote, "Who is writing Raw and NXT and who's writing SmackDown, because no damn way is it the same team." Well, Road Dogg was writing for SmackDown in 2017 to 2019, and you'll never guess who's writing SmackDown now. Andrade is one of the best wrestlers in the world. He should be on TV every week. Glad we could blame Road Dogg for this and not Triple H. It's not hard to fit the women and The Rock on the same 3-hour show. It's on Triple H. Triple H ain't writing the show, at least on SmackDown. It's Road Dogg. He sucked in 2019 and he sucks now. This was an extremely horrible experience. I don't know who booked it, but fire them. Welcome back to the Road Dogg experience with creative. Is it too soon to fire Road Dogg? WWE adds Road Dogg to the creative team and SmackDown gets worse. Maybe Road Dogg is the opposite of Russo? An absolute bomb on his first night and great shows for the rest of his tenure? Maybe? Possible? Wait, so what's gonna happen here? I'm just confused. Everything makes no sense right now. They got Road Dogg doing all the writing. That's all you need to know. I like Road Dogg, but WTF does he know about booking a good show? Road Dogg's creative being from a butt. Actively watching a 3-hour SmackDown written by the Road Dogg in 2025 is a form of self-harm. When it comes to a lawsuit filed by a former AEW star, Ringside News wrote that Ryan Nemeth has officially taken legal action against AEW, Tony Khan, and CM Punk, filing a lawsuit in Los Angeles Superior Court on February 14th, 2025. According to legal documents obtained by Ringside News, the lawsuit alleges assault, breach of contract, and intentional efforts to destroy his wrestling career. Nemeth claims that Punk physically threatened him, Khan enabled it, and AEW ultimately blackballed him from the industry. Nemeth was under contract with AEW and had built a solid career in wrestling, following in the footsteps of his brother, Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. He alleges that things changed in early 2023 when CM Punk, real name Phil Brooks, assaulted Matt and Nick Jackson, also known as the Young Bucks. Nemeth claims AEW and Tony Khan were fully aware of Punk's history of violent outbursts, but refused to take action because of Khan's personal admiration for Punk and his value to AEW's business. Brooks undertook a campaign to terrorize and intimidate plaintiff, including physical assault. AEW and Tony Khan did nothing to protect Ryan Nemeth and other wrestling performers from despicable conduct on the part of Brooks, the lawsuit states. Nemeth alleges that in April 2023, he told AEW executives that he feared Punk would retaliate against him once he returned from suspension. His concerns became reality on June 21st, 2023, 2023 when he claims Punk confronted him in the AEW locker room, cornered him, and shouted, "Do we have a problem? Do we need to step outside and handle this like men?" Nemeth says he did everything he could to de-escalate the situation, but the damage was already done. The following day, Nemeth was contacted by Tony Schiavone and AEW executives, where he explained what happened. Despite this, no action was taken against Punk. Instead, Nemeth claims AEW retaliated against him by keeping him off television for over 2 months, cutting off his income and damaging his career momentum. AEW's legal team initially assured him he would not be benched, but that turned out to be false. On August 12, 2023, Nemeth was booked for an AEW event in Greensboro, North Carolina, but his return was short-lived. While walking through the hotel lobby, he spotted Punk, who immediately took out his phone and started texting. Shortly after, Nemeth received a message from AEW supervisor Pat Buck requesting a meeting at the arena. When he arrived, he was told he needed to leave immediately and that travel was being arranged for him to fly home that same day. Nemeth was embarrassed and humiliated in front of other wrestlers who witnessed him being kicked out of the arena. More importantly, fans observed him leaving the arena. Pictures were taken and the expulsion became viral on social media, the lawsuit states. Nemeth continued reaching out to AEW's legal team, trying to understand why he was being removed from events. He claims AEW attorneys were caught off guard and could not provide a clear answer. Things escalated further when AEW attorney Chris Peck accused Nemeth of using a ghostwriter in his emails and even threatened legal action against him. Punk was ultimately fired by AEW in September 2023 after a backstage altercation at AEW All In. The lawsuit alleges that after Punk's departure, Khan became furious with Nemeth, blaming him for Punk leaving the company. Nemeth claims AEW then worked to blacklist him from the wrestling industry, ensuring that he would never be able to make a living in professional wrestling again. The defendants have embarked upon a campaign to blackball Nemeth from professional wrestling. Specifically, Tony Khan blames Nemeth for Brooks leaving AEW and has used his significant resources to make sure that Nemeth can never again make a living in wrestling, the lawsuit claims. Nemeth last wrestled for AEW on November 18, 2024. He has since moved on to TNA Wrestling, while Punk returned to WWE in November 2023. Nemeth is seeking compensatory and punitive damages and has demanded a jury trial. Asked how long she sees herself wrestling full-time for WWE, Becky Lynch told the Getting Over podcast, "I'm not trying to be vague or cagey in any way, but I feel like I have a great mind for wrestling, a great love for it, and it's always going to be a part of me. It's in my heart, it's in my head, and it's the reason I have my family, so it's incredibly important to me. I just don't know what that looks like in the future. Life has surprised me in wonderful ways recently. You can make all these plans, but sometimes things don't go the way you intended. In the long run, though, something else works out, something even better than you expected, and honestly, I feel like that's been the story of my entire career." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.